What is up, everybody? We are live. This is the last late night agenda before I take my hiatus for 9 or 10 days, but I'm delighted to say we're going out with a bang. Special guest on today, Sophie, the hairdryer treatment, or hairdryer treatment I should say, if you're on YouTube. Sophie, how are you?
I'm doing well, Craig, thank you. Really well. I broke up for half term because I've still been in work, so I'm enjoying that. But yeah, my debut on your channel, and I'm privileged to be here, so thank you for asking me on.
Pleasure. I'm always happy to have new people on. Love to have a chat about football. We had a few gremlins in the works. I'm trying to keep an eye on the live chat just to make sure that we're all good at this end and that there's no lagging or anything like that, because I don't know what's going on lately, but the gremlins are definitely in the system. Connor said it's coming back now. Hopefully we're all good to go. 1 second. I'm just going to wait for the chat and then we'll get stuck into it. There's loads for us to get through. I'm glad to hear that you're getting a bit of a break, by the way, because I know that you were in work, so it's good to know. You see you're on half term, so how long is that?
Yeah, we've got a week off. So yeah, full week, 7 days, and then I'm back in on the Monday. But yeah, I'm going to make the most of it. It doesn't feel like a holiday, though, obviously, I'm being so restricted. It doesn't feel like I'm on half term, to be honest with you, but grateful to be able to, sounds nasty, but to be away from the kids for a little bit, because social distancing is just non-existent in schools.
Yeah, it is non-existent, you're right, and it's, I'm already worried about sending my young lad back in September, let alone, like, I know the UK schools are still open. I think there was talk of actually all of them reopening in June, if my memory's right, in the UK, is that right?
So 1st of June is when we're starting to phase year 10s back in, and most schools are doing the same thing, because obviously they're going to be GCSE students next year. But it'll be interesting to see if that fan does actually go ahead. And like you say, there's a lot of parents already who are saying that, no, I'm not sending my child in, and that's completely up to them. That's their choice, and I don't blame them.
There's also a few footballers who aren't willing to go in at the minute, and I'm just waiting to see when we get ahead. Yeah, refresh the YouTube page. There's people in the chat. Grant, I just need to fix the chat. 1 second. Right, guys, thank you. Cool. We're going to get stuck into this now in 2 seconds. I just need to do a bit of homework on how to not be a moron, and then we'll get going properly. We are still live, though, so calling myself a moron's alright. As long as I don't start calling guests or other people morons, Sophie, I think I'm good to go.
Good.
Come on, YouTube, stop being so slow. Come on. Play ball.
The chat's going.
Cool, nice. Tell them we said hello. Tell them I'll be there in a minute. We're getting there. Right, pop out the chat. I think we're live now. Well, we are live. We're definitely live, but I'm in the chat. I was wondering why the chat wasn't moving. I was thinking, hang on, there's no way the stream's this fucking slow, surely. But no, it's just this Irish idiot that's that slow. That's mad. I'm still not seeing any chat. Come on, YouTube.
I'm on the stream and I can see the chat now.
It's just me. It doesn't like me, Sophie. But my own YouTube channel doesn't like me.
I've felt like that for a few weeks with YouTube now, honestly.
So how are things going for you on YouTube anyway? You've been doing some FIFA streaming, I've been seeing. I don't get it. I have to say, I'm too old. I don't get it.
I beat Liverpool 5-0 yesterday, so it was a good day, to be fair. No, I've slowly got better with the FIFA. I wasn't the best to start with, cannot defend at all. Can score goals, but can't keep them out. But I've gradually got better. I'm really enjoying doing the FIFA streams, my social career mode, as I like to call it. Yeah, a lot of people are begging me basically to keep the streams up, so I really appreciate the support, and I'll keep going for as long as people want me to.
I'm one of these people that used to play computer games or FIFA, but they lost me as soon as you start having to spend money. So as soon as you stopped having to, just buy the game and just play it, that was it. They lost me.
Yeah, I think when you start playing online, there's a lot of kids who obviously just steal their parents' credit cards, and they've got some icons and incredible cards. You just can't compete unless, like you say, you invest and spend money. I don't like doing that. I just like playing a bit of career mode on my streams, to be honest, because Ultimate Team is just rage. I mean, you see Mark playing all the time and how angry he gets with it. Ultimate Team is serious rage.
Yeah, I think there's a cheat mode there. If you're loaded, you're alright, aren't you? Like, if you've got loads of cash and you can keep throwing it at the career mode and you can keep buying better players, it's, I don't know. I don't get it. Microtransactions, somebody said, huge debate there. Do you know what the really annoying thing is? I think it was actually Liverpool's CEO who worked for EA at the time who was part of the team that introduced those microtransactions, as people are so kindly calling them. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. As you said, it's a lot of pressure on parents. It's a lot of pressure on gamers. Like, these this is to sound like an old man rant, but these consoles are already expensive enough. Then you go and spend 60 or 70 quid on a game and then they want more money out of you. It's not for me,
No,
Sophie.
you can't physically compete unless you spend money on it. That it's pure fact, you can't, because there's that many people who invest. Like you say, you're playing against people who've obviously got bags of money, or spoilt children, as I like to call them, where they've just got ridiculous teams, and it's not fun anymore. You can't touch the ball.
I'm getting to a point now where I'm just too old for this shit. I'm too angry to play it. I think I'd just end up smashing the console, and then that'd be the end of it. Like, I just pay to win for sure, somebody said. I finally got back in here, kept kicking me. I think there's just something gremlins in the system tonight. My wife's in the chat as well. Hello. Lucas accidentally ordered 150 quid worth of Xbox games about a year ago. Yeah, I've forgotten about that. See, you mentioned it there.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what happens all the time. Guarantee. It's just too easy, though, isn't it? It's too easy to do.
I think they gave us the money back, because I can't imagine a scenario where I wouldn't have chased them for the money. Like, I can't imagine that like, and I've forgotten about it as well.
Exactly. Don't blame you. But I bet you that during lockdown, I'd be interested to see the amount of people who've spent more money on FIFA because there's nothing else to do. I guarantee that the ratings have gone up in terms of their profit.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Right, let's get stuck into football anyway. And we were having a chat beforehand in the first attempt at doing the stream where we were talking about footballers who don't yet feel safe or secure enough to come in. We talked about N'Golo Kante and Troy Deeney, and I just want to get your take on players that are, I won't say being forced back into training, because I like to think that Frank Lampard, Jurgen Klopp, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, most of the managers are not going to put pressure on these players to come in, because they understand, much like we're talking about countries opening or different parts of the world opening, every player's story is individual, Sophia, and no, you can't just say he's a footballer and put him into a box. Troy Deeney, as we know, is a 5-month-old son that has had breathing issues since he's been born. If I'm Troy Deeney, I'm sticking 2 fingers up to football right now, and my son is the most important thing in the world to me.
Exactly, yeah, and people comparing footballers to key workers, it just doesn't make sense to me. I said the same thing on my Twitter not long ago, and someone said, well, you've still got to go into work, you've got relatives who are vulnerable. Yes, I have, but I'm a key worker. It's essential that I go because I've got children that I need to obviously look after. Footballers aren't essential. We can live without football carrying on. And that for me, I think it's just purely selfish, the fact that people are literally begging football to go on and carry on as normal and get back into it, because it's just for our entertainment. There's too much risk in it still for me. The numbers are still too high for my liking for it to come back safely. So
far, I won't say so good, but we know that there's roughly going to be about 1,600 tests, I think, performed a week on Premier League footballers, and it's important to point out as well that this is not putting any strain on the NHS. It's been funded by the Premier League, and that's all well and good, but as we're still saying, N'Golo Kante, a situation, I always knew that he wasn't happy going into training, but it was only today that I found out the situation about his older brother and about his father as well. And when you start hearing those, Sophie, and you start hearing individual cases, you understand why certain players won't go in.
Of course, look, we all love football and we all miss it. I'm sure the players miss it desperately as well, but it is just a game, isn't it? When you look at the facts, it is simply a game, and it shouldn't be forced or rushed back. I think we do need to finish the season. Obviously, Liverpool fans would definitely agree with me on that. We do need to finish it, but we can wait. For me, I would wait as long as it takes. I don't want it to be the wrong decision. If we rush back and obviously it's a fatality for somebody, that's the worst case scenario. I do not want to see that happen. And again, who is going to take responsibility for all that if that does happen?
It's a very fair point, and there are people out there that are going to throw the arguments back at us that these guys are getting paid millions of quid a year, but my argument is very simple. All the money in the world is not going to bring back a loved one. If you bring this virus back into your house, and heaven forbid, I mean, it's important to remember as well, a lot of people, particularly in different cultures, from my limited understanding, one of the reasons why it spread so quickly throughout Italy was that you've got various different family members living in the same house, 2-3 generations. This is the same as well when footballers come from foreign countries, come over to play in England. They often bring family members, their parents, brothers, sisters, whoever with them, to give them those home comforts. And if they're all living together, again, you got to take these kind of scenarios into account.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Troy Deeney, when he mentioned about the barbers saying he can't get a haircut until, mid-July, you're telling him you've got to go and compete with players in a box for a header and actually get up close physical with other players. It just doesn't add up to me. It does not make sense at all. How can you say football is safe to come back but you can't go and get a haircut?
It's a fair point, and he defo knows how to manhandle people. He threw Dejan Lovren around fairly when they beat us 3-0 fairly well. So Troy Deeney isn't somebody who's backwards about coming forward. He is as tough as they come. So for him, I think, to be coming out and speaking as openly and as honestly as he has, I think fair play to him. And some of the trolling that he got on social media is nothing short of disgusting, if I'm being honest. I mean, I was saying to you earlier on that Jurgen Klopp has come out and said that Liverpool players are here of their own free will in training. If one of them was to ring him up and say, Gaffer, I don't feel like I can come in, he said there's going to be no fines, no punishments. Everybody is there because they want to be there, and if they have circumstances that aren't allowed, then that's good. And as I said, I know Lampard, Solskjaer, all the top managers will be the same, because like one thing we forget about is that they are not just, you know, employees. They're not just people that we throw 200 grand a week at or 150 grand a week at. They're human beings. This probably sounds like a broken record to people, but I genuinely feel very strongly about this. Do I want football back? Yes. You bet your ass I want football back, for all the reasons everybody's thinking. Because I want Liverpool to win the league. Because I want to see who gets promoted. I want to see who gets relegated. I want to see who gets the Champions League spots. But if it meant saving one life, I would happily have it all gone. In a heartbeat. If you knew that one life was going to be saved by cancelling football, and I hope we don't get to a scenario where a footballer or a footballer's family member becomes critically ill or anything like that. It's I don't know. It's difficult, mate, isn't it? Because
Pep Guardiola as well, his mum literally passed away due to COVID-19. So are you telling me that he's going to be comfortable coming back at the moment? Of course he's not going to be. It's not just the players. You've got the managers, the coaches, the chefs, the kit man. Everyone's got to come back. If the team comes back, all the staff are coming back.
Yeah, that's very well said. I'm going to take some comments from the chat. I'm guessing you both and Troy make your own bread. I don't know what that means. If you're talking about money, then yeah, we're all about bread. All about it. Bread, cheddar, everything.
It's not. It's me baking in lockdown. It's definitely not making money. It's literally making bread for me.
I'm too dumb to bake bread, so that definitely doesn't come with me. And I don't have to worry about growing an afro either, which somebody else pointed out in the chat that other people have to worry about. I mean, I don't know if you see, there's been some dodgy haircuts coming back, Sophie. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Sadio Mane needs a trip to the barbers badly.
Aubameyang as well. I've seen his today. That's pretty dreadful. Ashley Young, on the other hand, though. Have you seen the picture of Ashley Young with hair?
No.
It actually suits him. Like, I just question why has he not had hair the whole time? I mean, fair enough, he obviously chose not to, but it's just baffled me.
Somebody caught me out. I think it was Connor sent me a picture of Guardiola with hair, and I was like, is that fucking real? Is that a And my wife's here going, of course that's not real, you moron. Like, my wife has a bit of a crush on Pep Guardiola. Like, I mean, sorry for Liverpool viewers. I mean, she obviously likes bald men, but, like, he's actually bald. And he's there with a full head of hair, and I was thinking, one, is that real? Two, could he have got hair plugs and they grew that quickly? I mean, our own manager, Klopp, always had hair plugs. Did you see Antonio Conte, by the way, before he ever got hair plugs? If you haven't, Google it. It's
Yes, I have. But the thing is with footballers, we mentioned that they are humans, but the same kind of thing happened with the salaries and people saying they should donate to the NHS and to support. Footballers were put under a lot of pressure to do that, and I don't think that's right, because they've got their own families to provide for. Yes, they're on a lot of money, of course they are, and as I already mentioned on my own channel, I said I'm sure footballers would want to donate. They just want to know how exactly to do it and where the money is exactly going, like Wayne Rooney mentioned when he was interviewed. But it's like there's enormous pressure put on them to donate money and now to get back into playing, and I just don't think it's right.
Yeah, they've definitely been used as scapegoats, and I've often held Gary Neville up as actually a good example. When this first happened, I thought he was very statesmanlike. I thought he said all the right things, that football needs to set an example, football needs to be seen to be taking a lead here, and that football can both bring people together, of course, if it comes back at the right time, but it can also, most importantly, set that example. We all want sport back in our lives, Sophie, because sport coming back means normality, and it gives us that sense of relaxation, control, freedom. It just makes us feel a bit better. But I know other people are worried about it being too soon, and yes, we can look at Germany and say the Bundesliga is back, but let's be honest, and I don't mean this as a dig towards the UK, I sincerely don't, but Germany handled this pandemic better than a lot of countries around the world. Yeah,
they did. They were so efficient with it, and that's what I mean. Germany have obviously brought it back, and I commend that. I just hope that it's the right decision to do so. And there's certain things that I've been watching in the Bundesliga, and I'm scratching my head thinking, that doesn't add up to me. Like, what, they're wearing masks in the tunnel, they're taking them off to play and compete against each other. The subs are wearing masks and they're sat apart in the stand, but they're going to come on anyway and compete. Like, why? It doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, it is mad, and the one that gets me is the referees. So the referees are then standing over players, or they're like, the player's injured, the ref's like standing above him, talking down to him, and then another player comes over to moan at the referee about something, and I was like, where's the fucking social distancing? Like, there's an opportunity here to stand 6 feet away. The ref can be heard. I'm sure he can stand away. There are some absolute hypocrisies in it.
And then you've got the celebration situation as well, where they're touching elbows or they're standing apart and dancing on their own, like Haaland did the other day. And it's just like, you're literally competing with players on a pitch and you're telling me you can't celebrate together. Like, I don't know. There's so many unanswered questions for me, and that's why I'm not 100% on it coming back, and that's why there's a little niggle of that. I'm just hoping it is the right decision to do so, and it's not too soon.
The one thing I suppose that a lot of people have had an issue with is the empty stadiums and no fan noise and stuff like that, and I'm kind of a little bit fortunate in that sense, is that I haven't had a chance to listen to the audio from a Liverpool game live in about 2 years, because when I do watch-alongs, for copyright issues, I can't have any sound on. I can't wear earphones because I'd get distracted if I was wearing earphones, listening to the commentary and trying to do my own. So I'm lucky in that sense, and I think maybe a few others that do watch-alongs are as well. But how have you found watching games with like literally zero noise other than the players?
It's just strange, isn't it? It's just really weird. I mean, England obviously played behind closed doors just before all this as well, and it's just a really weird situation. It just obviously takes the emotion out of it. I find that I'm analysing the game a lot more than what I would be normally. You sat as a fan with the fans, you know, and you haven't got that, so I feel like I'm analysing a bit more. I'm watching it in a different way, and that's probably because I'm not supporting any teams that are playing as well. I'm watching as a pure mutual. But look, if that's the safest way to bring football back, then I completely understand why they've done that, and I agree with it. A lot of people are saying don't bring it back until you get fans. It's a formality that football obviously needs to finish for me, that league needs to finish, so I get that completely. And I can survive without having the fans there. I can survive with that, but I do think the Bundesliga has been pretty poor to watch. Other than that, I really do.
I want to get into transfers and I want to get into a few other bits and pieces, but I want to have a bit of fun first, and I want to get your take on some of the leaked football shirts that we've seen so far come out. And yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards how shit yours are, if I'm being honest with United.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a coach seat, we've got that zebra one. The green one is alright, to be fair. I quite like the green one that was leaked, but that black and white one, I can't even look at it for too long. I'm praying that isn't true. I really am praying. But I've seen a few of the Liverpool and the Nike concepts as well, and to be fair, some of them look pretty smart, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, when we heard that Nike were going to be making our kits, the big worry a lot of Liverpool fans had was that a lot of the Nike kits were copy and paste kits. Like, they were all the same club, just different colours. And the few that we've seen, again, none of them have been technically confirmed yet, although I think most of them are pretty nailed on. The teal coloured one, I think, which will be our away shirt, is definitely the one. I don't know if you've seen that. That's the one that divides our fan base the most. I like it. See, I like it as well, but there are other people who think it's the most disgusting thing they've seen in the past 10 years.
It's because it's different, isn't it? That's what it is. I mean, the zebra one for United is different, but that is beyond different. Like, that is absolutely terrible. At least that one, you can kind of wear it and you don't get a headache, if you know what I mean? At least you can get away with that one.
See, when I think of that zebra shirt, I automatically go back to that game. Was it against Southampton, where United changed shirts? They said they couldn't see each other or something. That immediately springs to mind for me when I see that shirt. I go all the way back to that game where they changed shirts at half time because they said they couldn't see each other. Now,
it's horrible. It's embarrassing. I'm just praying that isn't true. It seems like it is, because you see it more and more, but it's disgusting. I definitely will not be buying that shirt. That's for sure. If it is released. But I've seen the Man City one as well that was leaked. Have you seen that one with that disgusting pattern on it?
There's two. There's one that looks like somebody got a piece of blue glass and stood on it, and then there's the paisley kind of pattern, the white one.
That's the one I've seen. Looks like a pyjama top or something. What's that one?
That's what happens when you go to fucking Puma. Like, what do you expect is going to happen when you go to Puma? Like, Arsenal were with Puma, they go over to Adidas, and then they've got three of the nicest kits I've seen in a long time. Last year's Arsenal kits were absolute belters, I have to say. I thought they were brilliant. Yeah, they were. For us, my biggest problem with the Nike thing has been that I'm fully expecting. Now, you've been through this. United have had Nike, Adidas. They've gone through a few of the higher end manufacturers. Did you find that the price shot up at all with any particular manufacturer?
I think football shirts in general are just extortionate nowadays, aren't they? I remember you could get a shirt with a name on the back and you'd probably be paying below £50 for it. And then now it's just like, you're talking 75 quid, 80 quid before you've even got anything on it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, football shirts in general, whether it's Nike, Adidas, New Balance, wherever it is, I think they're just stupid money now. It really is.
They're a lot of money, and then if you've got to buy, if you fancy a couple of them yourself, you've got a kid, and then they want a training kit, and then, as you said, the name and number on the back. Even a kid's kit, you don't see. I'm lucky actually. My young lad just about got into the last age bracket this year where you got the full kit. You know, you could buy the kids, the infants one or the juniors one. Now he's too big. He needs the shirt and socks. So probably gonna cost me the guts of €120 to get him a kit, like. And
it's ridiculous. It's just absolutely stupid money, and just clubs are cashing in on it. And a lot of people, especially as United fans, people are saying, "Oh, don't buy it, don't fund the club, don't fund the owners," because it's just ridiculous money, and it is stupid money, to be honest with you. But I'm one of these people who every year I have to at least get the home shirt. I have to get the home shirt. As I've said, I'm not getting that zebra kit next season, no, definitely.
A few things about these kits, and I do want to take the piss a bit more out of that zebra kit, I'm not going to lie, but even with our kit, the green one that people don't like, I often think it's a bit unfair to judge until you see the entire kit, because with that green kit, I think our one, a nice black pair of shorts, will tie that together. So I don't know if there's any saving that United kit, to be honest, but
the black and white one, there's literally no saving that one. I completely agree. The only thing I will say is that that dizzy looking at it, you kind of forget after a while how bad it is. That's the only thing I will say. I think they're trying to hypnotise the opposition, I don't know. But the red one that looks a bit like a coach seat, I think you're right there. I think when you see it alongside white shorts, it actually looks quite smart because it's got the little white trim on the neck and it's not too bad. But the zebra one, there's no saving that. The green one, like you say about your green one, I think it's decent. It's sellable, definitely.
I like a mad kit. I like a crazy kit. Like we've had with New Balance and before that with Warrior, we've had some mental shirts. Like, and I love it. I love a decent home shirt, as you said. I'm somebody like you, always try and get the home shirt anyway, and then depending on the away one, whether I like it or not, I'll go with that. But those Man City ones, they're horrendous. And then Everton are switching over to Hummel to manufacture their shirts. So I didn't think they could go any lower than Umbro, but apparently there's a level below.
Hummel. Who even has Hummel nowadays?
Rangers.
Oh, there you go.
But even at that, I think Rangers had... I don't know. Rangers signed some deal the other day, some £25 million deal with either a new sponsor or a new kit manufacturer that are two Scouse brothers that have some high-end sports brand. I don't know if it's going to be somebody in the chat, I'm sure will know, but yeah, Hummel. Even, did you see the banter going around? Somebody pulled up something from their website that said they liked Hummel, and it was like their kits, and like we would like to back the underdogs sometimes, and it's just perfect.
I mean, you're just encouraging people to banter you, aren't you, if you do that? I think you're just encouraging people to take the piss out of you. But the United kits, I think that gold Chevrolet on the front of it, I think regardless, I think it looks tacky. I do not like it. I think if that was white rather than it being gold, I think it would look a lot nicer. And I've always said that about any kit we've had over the last few years. The gold Chevrolet spoils it for me. I just do not like it. I mean, what's your take on that?
I think Chevrolet, cheap. That's immediately where my mind goes when I see Chevrolet. I mean, when I think of United, my head goes back to Sharp. That's what I'll always think of when I think of Manchester United shirts. And with Liverpool, I'm sure Carlsberg or Candy are by the first things to go through people. So their standard charter, their logo's not too bad, but I agree. It would take a lot of work for those United kits to look well with that big yellow plus sign or whatever it is in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's horrible because it's just like rubbish colour gold as well. It's just like on a red kit, it just doesn't look nice. If it was white, like you said, the Sharp was pure white, that looks smart, and I think that's what it's lacking. But obviously, we're meant to be getting a new sponsor, Harler, aren't we? Hopefully soon, which will look a lot better than that Chevrolet because it can't get much worse than that, I don't think.
We had a little piss take earlier on about FIFA and stuff and how they've managed to get more money out of gamers and stuff. But we have to give football clubs credit as well, because I think you guys were the first ones to get a training kit sponsor, if my memory serves me correct, and now we're all at it.
Yeah, it's true. And sponsorship is massive in football. We've already mentioned that football coming back is purely because of the money side of it, because of politics. They're saying it's for morale. Of course, we all want it back, but we all know there's a financial side of the game. And I've heard the other day that a lot of teams are having to pay broadcasters back a lot of money because of not playing through this pandemic. And obviously United have announced as well a loss in their revenue as well, which was bound to happen. But I'll be intrigued to see what clubs are affected by this. We've already seen that certain clubs are furloughing their players. There was a whole debate around Liverpool, and then they changed the decision. If this goes on for much longer, some of the smaller clubs surely are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and I suppose we get trapped in this Premier League bubble, and we support clubs who are financially in a decent position. But as you said, like, I think Norwich may have furloughed some staff, and some other clubs. We did it and reversed it quickly, but to me that doesn't matter. We still made the wrong decision early doors, and there's no saving that as far as I'm concerned. I think any football fan, I can't speak for United fans, but any Liverpool fan I spoke to would have rathered not furloughing any staff and had no transfers. If we were told, look, we need to pay the staff, everybody would have gone, yeah, because that's what the city of Liverpool, that's the ethos of the club. It's, you can't go, you'll never walk alone, and then go, do you know what, we're fucking you on furlough here while we keep making money off the government. Like, it doesn't sit well with people.
Yeah, I remember being on Claude's show and we were discussing it there. And we said, look, they made the right decision eventually. But when Liverpool popped up as a team that was furloughing, I was gobsmacked. I did not expect that at all from Liverpool. Because like you say, like, the whole ethos of the club and the whole message the club sends out, you don't expect that from them. I'm glad they made the right decision, and I always stick to that. I think ultimately the right decision was made. And I think that was kind of an impulse and a business decision to furlough, obviously. They weren't thinking... Whoever made that decision obviously wasn't thinking right in terms of the club. But yeah, I think furloughing and stuff like that. I mean, I've been watching the Sunderland documentary on Netflix, and you look at when they got relegated and the effect it has on the whole club financially. Obviously, we think of the players and you think of the manager, immediate staff, but then you've got a lot of staff in the background as well who are affected. And I think that kind of goes under the radar a lot of the time when you're thinking of a football club.
Yeah, and another thing, if we're talking about a club, and I'm just going to mention Norwich again because it's the only club I know off the top of my head that have definitely furloughed staff. So if you furloughed staff and then you go out into the transfer market in the summer and you spend 20 million on a player, that's not a good look.
No, definitely not. And what do you think about the transfer window? Do you think that a lot of teams, is it going to be more swap deals? Is it going to be worked differently this time around?
Oh, Connor made a really good point. We were talking about this the other day, and he said to me, well, people are talking about it. We don't even know when the window's going to be open, first and foremost, because we don't know if and when the seasons are going to finish. And even if we get the Premier League up and running, you guys still have European football to take care of in the Europa League, and that's scheduled to finish, I think UEFA want it done by August. How's that going to work as well? Like, there's so much before we even get into transfers to even talk about this season. Like, have you heard anything from your end as a United fan how the proposed Europa League is going to work?
No, I mean, I heard the same as you. European football, they're hoping to get done by the end of August, but if I'm honest, I can't see football coming back properly before that time. I genuinely cannot see that. I think more and more players, after the likes of Kante, Dini, Aguero, Danny Rose have spoken out. I think more and more players are going to jump on that bandwagon. I really do, and I think we're going to have a lot more players refusing to train or take part. I'll be interested to see if it does actually start in June, because I can't see it happening. I really cannot.
Thank you for the super sticker, by the way, Doug. I got to do a little fist bump. I try and mimic those stickers. Yeah, Doug's a good lad. He's one of the happiest people I've ever met, by the way. He's always positive. He's always got a good outlook on things, and I wish I could be that way, because I'm a narky fucker. I'm not going to lie. Like, at the best of times, I'm as cranky as they come. The transfer market, you touched on it there, and I talked to a few people about this, and I think the perception is that there may well be some more trades involved. There may well be some more loans involved, and it's something you actually see less in football than people think. Part exchanges or things like that. It's not as common as it is in other sports.
No, it's common on FIFA. I'll say that much. A lot of deals I've been doing is swap deals, but I think financially there's going to be. We've already mentioned the smaller clubs might have to let some of their bigger players go. So Arsenal might have to let Aubameyang go, for example.
Oh, I love it! I love it. Boot straight in. No, not one foot given. Just smack straight on Arsenal. You United fans love bantering Arsenal, don't you?
It's too easy. You can't help it. But yeah, I think some clubs are going to have to get rid of their bigger players, and I think it'd be interesting to see. I mean, even clubs like we've got Wolves, for example, who've got a lot of young, promising players. Are they going to keep them all? I think it's going to be a really interesting one. I do think we'll see a lot more creative deals done, a lot more swap deals. We're linked with Sancho. Is that still going to take part? Is that going to happen? I think we will end up with him. I genuinely do, as I think Liverpool are going to end up with Timo Werner. And it guts me to say that, because I think he's an absolute quality player, but I can see him playing at Anfield next season.
I can't see anywhere else for him to go. I honestly, I can't. I've seen everybody and their sister linked to Manchester United this summer, and even a club as I always call United a financial behemoth because they are like a money-making machine. But even a club that has as much income as United, I think, are going to have to be a little bit more prudent to be nice about it than you guys may have been in recent windows, because I don't know what your take is on Ed Woodward, and it's not really my place to say from the outside, but it looks like a bit of a shit show at times for transfers.
It is a shit show at times. It genuinely is. I mean, how can you give players like Phil Jones an extra contract? How can you give him an extension when it's just a walking meme? I don't know how the guy is still at Manchester United. I cannot get my head around it. Got lots of Jesse Lingard, and we've got a lot of players who just simply aren't good enough. And I think Ollie coming in, he's starting slowly to ship out these kind of players. I think the signings that he's made, obviously, got Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, they've all been positive signings that he's made so far. Bruno, obviously, coming in has been phenomenal. And I just think, give him time, obviously back him, and I think he is taking us the right way. It's just going to take time. I saw someone asking in the chat earlier, when do I predict that United are going to be competing for the title again? And I think it's still going to be a few years down the line, I really do. But I think we need to close that gap initially. We're way off it at the minute, and we need to close the gap. And I think Ollie is starting to do that, I really do.
Yeah, it's a difficult question because even if you were to go out this summer and get, I think, maybe 4 players that you need, 4 top quality players, they still need time to gel. And I think as football fans sometimes we forget, and we're too quick at times to write players off as well, because Fernandes is a good example of a player who came in, hit the ground running, and has absolutely torn it up so far, whereas we've had Naby Keita come in, and through a mixture of injuries, I suppose, and not getting used to the language and the culture, has taken a little bit longer. But I still fully believe that Naby Keita will be an excellent player, and I think as fans, we can be hypocrites at times. We can write players off too easily, and we can go the opposite way, because I've seen, you guys must have hijacked the vote, but how the fuck did Bruno Fernandes get in the team of the year? I've played more Premier League minutes probably than Bruno Fernandes, and he gets in the team of the year. Madness. He's a great player, but
yeah, I mean, even as a United fan, I did laugh when I saw Bruno was in there. He's played what, a handful of games, you're giving him in the team of the season.
I think it's 5, something like that, 5 league games.
You can't put him in the team of the season. Imagine if you've been grafting your arse off all season and you've had the season of your life, and then someone who's played 5 games has picked in front of you. You'd be absolutely pissed, wouldn't you? Even as a United fan, I had to laugh about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think if he was there for longer, he would end up in a team of the season. He's that good, but you can't just chuck someone in there just because they've had 5 good games or whatever it is. I'll be absolutely gutted if he'd beat me to my place in the team of the year, definitely.
I mean, look, us Liverpool fans love to hijack a vote. We made Lucas Leiva Lazio's player of the year. It's something that we do very well. There's a question in the chat actually that I wanted to put to you. Somebody said, Sophie, who's better, Trent Alexander-Arnold or Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
So it's the impossible question, this, isn't it?
That's what I'm asking it.
I always say, I wish you could just merge the two, because obviously Trent going forwards, his delivery is superb, and Wan-Bissaka defensively, he's unbeatable. He's like Inspector Gadget, I always say. His legs just seem to extend. I don't know how he does it. And I always say, I wish you could combine the two. I think Wan-Bissaka, has been up there as player of the season for us this season. He's had a great debut season at United. If he can improve his end game, I think he'll be absolute quality. But then you say the same for Trent. If he can improve defensively, there's no better fullback going forwards in my eyes at the minute. He's absolutely quality, whipping the ball in. So it's the impossible question. I literally cannot choose, because they've both got opposing qualities. I just wish we could intertwine them. I really do.
It is difficult, and you've got people who want to belittle Trent, will say he's a hit and hope merchant or a cross and hope merchant. You've got people who want to belittle Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they'll say he can defend. And I think, personally, from what I've seen, he's one of the best one-on-one defensive fullbacks I've seen in quite a while. And that's saying a lot, because there's been some good fullbacks throughout the Premier League era. But I think maybe both of them don't get the credit that they deserve in the opposite half of the pitch. I think that's fair to say. And we're lucky. I mean, we could be sitting here talking about Arsenal's defence. There's my chance to stick the boot into Arsenal, but we're not. We're talking about 2 good young fullbacks. It's class. I mean, I'm not going to be biased and say Trent, because I think he's got more experience at the top level at the minute. Obviously, haven't won the Champions League. Did I tell you we won the Champions League? Just in case we won the Champions League. Just in case you didn't hear about that one. Bet to win the Premier League as well. Not just win it, but just smash it.
There's a bit of lag there. I completely missed what you said. What was that?
Do you want to go get the trophy? Because I've literally got one about 10 feet away, and I'm not even joking. Carl, Ken Coastal Holiday Let's, how are you, buddy? He said, fed up having a really bad day. I'm so pissed off at always being so positive. I'm feeling sad, but now I can come on here and be cheered up. Happy love Anfield agenda. Thank you, Carl. And look, it's okay to have a shit day. It's okay to come on and vent. I do it all the time. I get out all of my anger on here. So if you guys need to do it in the chat, or if you want to shout at me for a minute, Sophie, by all means, go ahead. It's all good, and I'm sure Sophie will back me up on this. We're not machines. It's okay to have these shitty periods, like.
Of course, just try and stay positive. I'm glad that we can bring a bit of joy with our content as well, because that's what we do it for at the end of the day.
It really is. It really is.
It keeps me going. It keeps me going, literally. Seeing people's feedback in my FIFA streams, and it just keeps me going, knowing that I'm giving them some good content, and have a good chat and just interact with some of the followers. You can't beat it.
I've said so many times on our channel that people, as you said, often come on and say lovely things, and they say the channel means a lot to me, but I can say wholeheartedly that my subscribers have given me back more than I can ever put into the channel, and the love that they've helped me out on days where I've said, well, I go on, what I do is stream, and then within 10 minutes I'm on and I'm smiling, I'm laughing because these fucking lunatics have made me smile.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I did a video the other day saying that I was having a few days off because I was having a few technical issues, and it was really getting me down, because I really wanted just to put the content out there because I've had that many positive responses. I know that people tune in at 11 o'clock every day because literally they've got not much else to do in the day. They cling for my streams, and I couldn't give it to them, and I was absolutely gutted to do that. And it affects you a lot more than what you realise. Like, I really do interact with my followers. I love talking to people in the chat, getting to know people, and you get a feel for what people are like. I mean, Diz is in the chat right now. I've seen this come across from my channel. A great banter in the chat. Always wanted me to lose on FIFA, but it's that bit of banter. It just keeps you going.
That's proper banter, though, isn't it? Like, that's not trolling. That's what we live for as football fans. That's it.
Yeah, of course, trolling, and at the end of the day, they don't deserve the time of day. I try not to give any attention to any trolls. In my eyes, if people are giving you attention, whether it's good or bad, people are looking, and that's the way I try and think about it. If people are taking notice, whether it's good or bad, I'm doing something right.
I wish I could. I wish I could not take notice of the trolls some of the times, but yeah, I'd be lying, Sophie. I'd be lying. I mean, sometimes I'm like an angry dad. I like to come on and just, pick out a comment and just go to town. It's where because I know you're quite active on Twitter as well, and it's so much harder to get your point across on Twitter, and I struggle with having that little characters, because when I go on a rant, it's usually 3-4 minutes of just me screaming stuff. So I like to come on and vent on here sometimes, and that helps, because I come off here and I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a few times before, like you say, you're feeling down and you've got to smile for the camera. But quite often, after I've been smiling to the camera and interacting with a few guys in the chat, I feel a lot more positive for it. And I feel so much better after I've done a stream, so much more relieved. I feel like I've actually done something productive with my day.
It's and there's a few comments in the chat there as well that said, like, streams have helped people get through. And that is the social responsibility that I think some people that maybe just see what we do and go, oh, fucking YouTubers, gobshites, or I don't get it. And that's okay. People don't get it. I understand it. But to those that do get it and to those that do tune in, I'm fully aware that this could be someone's only human interaction to some extent in a day. And I take that seriously. And I know you do, and I know other YouTubers I've spoken to do as well. There is a social responsibility to what we do, and we take it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, the second I came into lockdown, one of my first thoughts was, right, I need to be putting content out there every single day. I need to come up with a routine for people, because people are going to go out of their minds if they've got nothing to focus on. We've already said we're going mad without football. That's why I tried to do FIFA, just to be a bit of a football fix. And of course, I'm not the best at it, but that makes it funnier, And like you say, I've got that relationship with some of my subscribers now where it is banter, it's healthy, and it's positivity in the chat. And that's what I want at the end of the day, and that's what everybody needs.
Exactly. I mean, there's never too much happiness in the world. I'm always saying it. People come on and call me whatever they want, but I'll smile back at them most of the time and just take it on the chin, because it's funny. Like, I called Dejan Lover and a cabbage once. And the way my chat goes on, you would swear that's all I've ever referred to him as during this entire time at the club. Like, even now in the chat, Lover and the cabbage, there you go. It's in there already. It's but I love this. It's what I live for. And there's a few questions. I did actually jot down a couple of things I wanted to talk about. And sometimes I like to just kind of wing it and see how we get on. But we talked about the Champions League, Europa League. We haven't really talked about the proposed date that the Premier League is due to be back. I think we can all safely say that the June the 12th date isn't going to happen. It's probably the latter part of June, if not maybe early July. And it hurts me to say that. But again, we touched on it at the start. It has to be the right time.
Yeah, of course. Like I've already mentioned, if we rush back and touch wood, it doesn't happen, but there's a fatality and somebody obviously contracts the virus, who's taking responsibility for that? And that's why I get the impression at the minute nobody fully wants to put their name on a date, a return date. Nobody fully wants to put their stamp on it, because nobody knows really what's going to happen. Is there going to be another peak in the UK? I mean, the thousands of people I've seen out on my bike rides, I would imagine there is going to be a second peak, because it's been an absolute joke out there. And I must be honest, it's been like the summer holidays. I don't know if it's the same way you are, but there's definitely a lot of people being out more than they should, and they're not social distancing as well.
I'm a little bit lucky. I don't live in a very major city. I live in a kind of satellite town. So like as I said, I've only been out once in 11 weeks, but my wife will go out and she'd do the supermarket run, and we try and time it so she wouldn't have to queue outside to get in and stuff. And at dinner time is usually a good time, by the way, if anybody out there wants a bit of a tip. When people are eating their dinner, that's 6:30, go supermarket. But yeah, I agree. It's difficult because we want it to come back, and for bias reasons, from my point of view, I want Liverpool to win the league. Of course I do. But I don't give a shit if we win this league title in 6 months' time, if that's the right time to do it. I do think the league has to be completed. Whenever that there is, that's not for me to say. But I do think you hear sporting integrity of the league, and I think, unfortunately, Sophie, the harsh reality is, and it's been said in the chat as well, there was always going to come a point, be it via the governments, via the leagues, that economics were going to come into play here, and people's lives were going to be put behind pound notes, and that's just the harsh reality of it.
No, it is. It's just money, and that's what I mean. I'm not comfortable with the fact that people are literally risking their lives just for my entertainment, just to boost my morale. What about their morale? What about their families? They're still humans at the end of the day. As you know, I play football myself, and my season was just void anyway. It was just stopped. But we had to play in a cup final literally the day before lockdown was announced by Boris. And I remember saying to my manager just before we were about to kick off, I said, I'm not comfortable with playing in this, close to my nan, close to my granddad. I don't think I should be in this situation. I don't get paid to play anyway. So why am I risking it? And I played because you feel bad for your teammates.
Did you win? Go on, did you win?
You know what? And the worst thing was we bloody lost on penalties to rub it in even more. But yeah, it was just like I wasn't comfortable with it. So I completely get the feeling of players. I completely understand it. Coronavirus has killed far too many people. It's still killing far too many people. One person is enough in my eyes, to be honest with you, because you can't put a price on someone's life. But it is all about money, definitely.
It will. It's going to come to a time where governments are opening up a bit too quickly or whatever. Joanne's put another super sticker in, one of these exercise dudes. Look, even at this is me, that's me done. Like, I did order a piece of exercise equipment, by the way. I'm not going to lie.
Me, though. That is like the body shape of me, to be fair, doing that.
Come on, to be fair, I think you're in it. That's more me, to be fair. There's even more hair on that little dude than there is on me, to be fair.
Like, can't I? We
ordered an elliptical machine or a cross trainer, but even exercise equipment or computer games, like, you're a gamer, getting consoles has been virtually impossible. Like, everything is sold out. Whether there's going to be some amount of second-hand gym equipment when this is all over, been doing the rounds, because it's crazy. We had to wait 6 weeks to get a cross trainer elliptical machine ordered. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I cancelled my holiday because I was due to be going away in the summer. So I've had the money back from that, and I thought, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get me a hot tub. I'm on lockdown. I'm going to get me one of those lazy spas. That'll sound good. Do you think I could find one anywhere? I've had to pre-order one, and it's not coming until August. That's how long the wait is. And Jesus. I thought, right, with the remainder of the money, I need a new bike, because lockdown, I've been cycling a lot. That's how I've been keeping my head down and just cycling. And I thought I need a new bike, so I got me a new bike. And luckily, I just about got one in my size, but I was looking for days. I'm not joking you. Bikes, hot tubs, anything like that is just gone. It's a joke.
It is mad, and I'm like you, I was supposed to be away sometime in June. I can't remember. Then we moved it to November. So we were supposed to be in Turkey in June. Then we moved it to the Dominican Republic in November. Cancelled that as well. We've booked now to go away to Turkey next June. And I'm already sitting here going, how is that holiday going to be? Are we going to be sitting around sunbathing with masks on?
That's it. And then we're contemplating football coming back. And I just can't get my head around it. How can we even be thinking about it? I don't know how people are back training. Like I said, I completely sympathise with the players and understand why a lot of them don't want to go back. And I do think a lot more will start to speak out about it as well. Now, obviously, that a few players have spoken about it, I think you'll see more following.
I mean, it's gotten so bad. I'm not going to lie, ladies and gents, with a bit of a confession. It's gotten so bad, I've nearly made a TikTok account. That's how bad.
So bad. I have made one.
I tried to do 2 Instagram posts before this stream earlier on, and could I be any more old man? Like, I'm messaging Connor going, did that work? Did that one work? And he goes, no, you fucking moron, it didn't work. Just give up, old man. Ask your 16-year-old daughter how Instagram works, for Christ's sake. Oh, I give up, honestly. I try. Somebody saying Currys allow online orders for electrical stuff. True, but they don't deliver exercise equipment, and games are pretty much sold out. And I know it's sold out because my little dude wanted to ask Santi for a Nintendo Switch. And I just went looking online, just wanted to do some research on how much Santa's going to charge me when this shit goes down. And they can't be got anywhere. Nowhere at the minute. Like, you can get the little handheld light ones, but again, I don't understand the difference. But we are where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Can
I just say that you on TikTok, Craig's TikTok content, I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. I want to see some TikTok videos.
My wife even had to explain to me that you don't have to dance on TikTok. Like, that's how dumb I am. I'm like, right, like, do I have to bust out dance moves? What is, like, how Anfield is down the TikTok? I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon, if I'm being honest.
Anything goes on TikTok. I mean, I don't do videos. I've done a few videos, like the Martial goal against Liverpool, the commentary for that. I just did like a bit of a mime to it, but I can't quite grasp it still. But I'm addicted to just watching them on the homepage. You just watch, and I find myself for hours just scrolling. I get addicted to watching it more than anything. It's dangerous.
They do make me smile whenever I see the TikTok videos come up. There's been a few good ones that are doing the rounds as well. And look, smiling is a good thing. I think TikTok has actually played quite an important part during this, making people smile, even if it is for 10 or 15 seconds. It's still worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I've set my nan's got one of my old iPhones, to be honest. I FaceTime her, and that's how I interact with my nan. And I set her up on TikTok just so she could watch the videos.
I thought you were going to say your gran was TikToking.
No, but she just watches it for hours, and she says, like, she's smiling, and my granddad's like, what are you watching, like, moaning at her, but
that's
she
class.
loves it. And that's
class.
What it's about, isn't it? So
Dave Smith said, I'm like Craig, I barely know what TikTok is. I was thinking, I don't know. When someone said, I'm not even going to go into that because that's too embarrassing. I'm not even going to go down that lane. Someone said, oh no, Craig making an OnlyFans. Hope it's in the makeup. Look, if I thought I could fucking make money from it, I'd be stripping. I'd be on that pole. I'm telling you.
Also, do that full face of makeup.
Did you see that stream? A full makeup, like.
I did. I was impressed.
I don't suffer from an embarrassment gene, unfortunately, for my family. I'm somebody who just doesn't really get embarrassed. I will do anything and just not care. So if anyone ever tries to embarrass me, best of luck. I mean, I gave the guys the option of what they wanted me to do. It was a bit of a forfeit for us hitting a certain amount of followers, and I said, look, what do you want me to do? They said, do a stream of makeup, and I was like, okay, fair enough. Like, you think this is bad? I'm like, makeup, please. Where are they? I was out looking for. I tell you how bad I was. This is no word of a lie. Do you remember Lazy Town? Do you remember Stephanie with the pink hair? I said to my wife, I want that wig. If you see that anywhere, that's what I want. I want makeup and I want that fucking wig. And do you think we can find the wig anywhere? You can find little hair extensions, but it's no use to me, is it?
Just glue them on.
Yeah, like I wasn't coming on. I was definitely not going to be any Sporticus. Any old people out there that knows what that is. But like I thought I could pull off a Stephanie, but yeah, no, unfortunately not. My DMs though were full of dirty men when the thumbnail went up. The DMs on Twitter were full of lads, sending me dick pics and all that. And they got one right back.
That thumbnail, to be fair, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm sure they were really tempted.
Yeah, I mean, how I'm going to explain that one to my psychologist at some point, I really don't know. But yeah, look. Right, so Sam said £5 says you daren't make a TikTok. I'll after owe you a penny. Look, the world doesn't need me to make a TikTok, honestly. Me being on YouTube is bad enough without me making a TikTok account. I'm a bit late to the stream tonight, said LFC Fan 96. Look, we've about 15 minutes or so left. If there's anything else that you guys want to ask Sophie, I want to ask myself, please do whack it into the chat. Any transfer rumours that you want to see? We haven't really touched on many of them, to be fair. Touched on Werner, we touched on a few for you. A lot of people are talking about Real Madrid doing a lot of business, but Sophie, I don't see it because the Spanish clubs are pretty broke.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Spain was one of the worst hit as well from the coronavirus. I don't know, Real Madrid for me over the last few years though, if you look at their squad, I mean, they're not the Real Madrid who we used to see, are they? They're far from that side. I think they're in a period now where they're rebuilding. We know that they attract a lot of, obviously, young talent. I think for them it's a period where they're in that bit of transition where they're trying to get the new generation through. And I think it's an interesting time for Real Madrid at the minute. You got lots of Gareth Bale. Yeah, how much longer is he going to be there? Much longer? I know he's been linked with a move back to the Premier League.
Who's going to pay his wages though? Exactly, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Man United probably, Ed Woodward, to be honest with you. Look at Alexis Sanchez.
James Rodriguez, another one that they can't give away. Isco seems to have been linked to the move away from Real Madrid since he joined. Every single window, Isco's been linked to the move away.
He's had his injury problems and...
Doug has a question for you. Doug said, "What is your?" Now, this is not me, so don't hate me, Manchester United fans. Everybody pile in on Doug if you've any issues with the forthcoming question, because it's definitely not me saying this. He wants to know what you make of Manchester United's soon football manager.
I don't know Football Manager, to be honest with you. I'm not a Football Manager fan, so it seems a bit petty though, doesn't it? For me, like I don't know. If I'm honest, I've just kind of stayed out of it. I haven't really got an opinion on the matter. I don't know major information about it. From what I can gather, it seems a bit petty from United, but I don't know. What's your take on it? Like, I'm not a football manager. I'm not a Football Manager fan. It's not a game that I play. It's too much writing on the screen for me. I'm not a fan of it. I don't really play it, so I don't know too much about the newest game. But yeah, what's your take on it?
Well, with the game, here's my take on any game. If I'm instantly not class at it, then the game gets fucking thrown aside. So that's my take on that. Look, I can't get on my moral high horse here because my football club that I support tried to copyright or trademark, the word Liverpool in a footballing context. So I'm not going to get on my high horse and start slagging off United on this one. Much like the Liverpool situation, I think it's the wrong move by United. But, I mean, I'm not going to go in on them two-footed because... as I said, we have previous of doing stupid shit as well. So, it's good to see that even the biggest clubs aren't immune from making big PR fuck-ups.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we keep saying, I've seen so many tweets throughout this saying how class United have been. And there's been a lot of clubs, bear in mind, that have done a lot for their communities throughout this pandemic. And you see United have been class through this. And they have. They've made me proud, to be honest, throughout this whole pandemic. And then you see something like this and it's like, it does show that it's still a business at the end of the day. It's run more like a business than a football club ultimately, isn't it? Like most clubs now. Yeah,
they are. And one thing for me, from the outside, I think, isn't there supposed to be some maintenance work? Or, Old Trafford's supposed to get a bit of a facelift because we've all seen the image of the water pissing down through the stand. And I had heard or believed that there was supposed to be some maintenance work being done. But, again, with where we are with football, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I've shown from Wolverhampton and a lot of Wolves fans around my area obviously go to the away games at Old Trafford and they say to me like it needs a renovating. Old Trafford is a bit outdated now. I love Old Trafford, of course, Theatre of Dreams, like such a special place to me, but you kind of get that. Like I feel like there does need to be some maintenance. It feels like the whole club at the minute is stuck in the dark ages a little bit and we're trying to now compete with the likes of Liverpool and Man City. We're trying to close that gap and I think renovation to the stadium will be a part of that as well.
Yeah, I've been to Old Trafford now. It was a very long time ago, and even then, I felt like it could do with being updated. And look, what's the capacity of Old Trafford? Around 80,000, something like that, is it?
Yeah.
So it's a big ass stadium, to be fair. Like, there fills a lot of people. And one thing I actually found out about Liverpool lately, which is interesting, is we have one of the lowest percentages of season tickets to capacity in the Premier League. And I was listening to a football finance expert talking about this, and he said it's basically so the club can, if you buy a season ticket and you buy 19 home games and it costs X amount, you can make more money selling individual match tickets or hospitality packages and stuff like that. And it was intriguing because we have probably the longest waiting list that I'm aware of. There's a waiting list to get on the waiting list and they're all closed. That's how much there's a demand. So to hear that, I was just shocked. It genuinely was, because I would have assumed that because our wait list is so long, we probably had a pretty high percentage of season ticket holders, but no, apparently not.
Do you know what they're doing this season in terms of season ticket holders? I think United are offering money off the season tickets for next season. It's quite crafty, them doing that. They're saying basically they're going to deduct the games that you've missed this season and take it off next season's season ticket. But what if you don't want to buy next season's season ticket? What happens then? But what I've heard so far, so I'll be intrigued to see what happens with that. But do you know what Liverpool are doing?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've seen other clubs that have refunded. I think Everton, Manchester City, are refunding fans the remaining games. Yeah, this is a very good point, and people are going to have to shell out for next season tickets. And again, we talked about the transfer market. We don't know when that's open. Well, we don't know if there are going to be fans inside stadiums next season. So it's a lot of money for people for season tickets. There are people who pay for the season tickets instead of having a holiday and stuff like that. So for those to have to cough up that amount in one go, yeah, I feel it. It's difficult, and again, this is where finances against what's right and wrong kind of might come into play, and you would hope that football clubs will do the right thing, but again, it depends on the owners, and I like to think that we've got behind it all pretty good owners. They've made mistakes, but they're not milking our club dry. To my knowledge, the owners haven't actually taken a penny out of our club, and then again, this is to have a dig, but the way the Glazers went in and bought United, they leveraged the value of the club to buy the club, and you've got massive repayments, which you're able to meet because United make a lot of money, but we were in a similar position on the Hicks and Gillette in that we were basically hampered in the transfer market because of these repayments that the club are having to make, and that will come into decision making again because money.
Money rules the world, doesn't it? And I think this coronavirus, the pandemic, has shown that everything is about money. I mean, I think the economy in the UK have done wonders, but let's face it, we're going to be paying them back in years to come. You already know it's going to come to bite us right in the arse again. But yeah, money just rules the world, and that's why this football talk and the Bundesliga coming back, the Premier League being talked of coming back when there's still a lot of cases. I mean, what is it? 3 Watford players who were tested positive, I think, recently. Mariappa was one of them.
6 cases in total, I think, from the first 748 or something like that, or 746.
Yeah, and to think that they're going to have to be forced back. I mean, Troy Deeney spoke out about obviously the risk and his doubts about going back. Mariappa was literally one of his best friends. So you imagine if he did go back into training and he's there side by side with Mariappa, you completely understand the concerns, and I completely get it. But it is money, and it's just sponsorship, broadcasting deals. That is why they're trying to force the Premier League back. That's the only reason why. It's not safe to do so. It definitely isn't safe enough yet.
When do you think we're going to see the first Premier League game, which actually I think is scheduled to be United Spurs, if I'm right?
Yes, I'm going to say end of July time. I still think it's going to be at least a month away. I really do. I think more players are going to come out and speak. I know June was the rumoured, like you said, 12th of June, did you say was the rumoured? I can't see that happening. I think at least another month of players about training now. We'll see how that goes. It's changing by the week, isn't it? Obviously, it depends on the numbers. If the numbers are dropping, then I'm sure it'll come back sooner. But I don't want it to come back. If I'm honest, I don't want it to come back anytime soon. I want us to be there to be a vaccine. I want us to see the numbers literally drop before we start risking it. But as we've already mentioned, there's things that are priority over people's lives, obviously.
Absolutely, they're a priority. June 20th, somebody else in the chat is saying another month would be June. Yeah, one thing we haven't spoken about, and you touched on, you play football yourself, the guys need to get up to match fitness. And they can't do that where we are right now with the social distancing, with the fact that they're having to train in. I think Jurgen Klopp said they had a group of 10 come into Melwood, then they left and another group of 10 came in, and then there was a group of 5 coming in the afternoon. Now, there's no way that they're going to be able to get up to speed that quickly when they're having to train socially distance in groups like that. It's going to take time.
They're doing it in phases, I believe, aren't they? So phase 1 is that they're coming back and they're doing it in small groups, and then they're going to increase the numbers, and then eventually they're going to work to do an 11 aside, 11 against 11 in training. So they're going to try and work their way up to that. I'll be interested to see what happens in between these phases, to see if anything changes with the cases in the UK with testing. Is that going to increase? What's going to happen? There's talks today at my work that we're going to be tested, which of course I agree, yeah, we need to be tested, but I think the antibody test is the crucial one to know if you've had it or not, because I was ill for a few months not long ago when I just started my new job, and I was adamant that I've had this virus. So if we could, is there a way that we can find out that we've had it or not? I think that is the test that we need to be getting to see if you're immune for it, because then you can relax a little bit more then.
Funnily enough, I said the same to my wife. I had a really bad illness a while back that was... It was before February. It was quite a while back, but it was very flu-y like. And I just said to her, hey, like you, I would love to get that antibody test just to find out if I have had it or not. Not that it would really make any difference, because I'd still take the same precautions around my son and the house and stuff. But yeah, it would be nice to know. And I mean, God, we're talking a year probably. I mean, Donald Trump's gone Trumpy Trump and saying that there'll be a vaccine by the end of the year, but I think that is a bit hit and hope, to be fair. And even at that, to scale that up,
He was talking about bleach or Dettol, wasn't he, in that vaccine, I think.
And ultraviolet light, he's having a go at everything, God bless him. Like, and then if you don't agree with him, you're fake news. I wish I could do that. I wish I could get people on here and go, sorry Sophie, don't agree with you, fake news, don't want nothing to do with you, couldn't care what you have to say, you're fake news. How he gets away with it, man, I don't know how Trump gets away with it. Sorry to any American viewers that are pro-Trump, by the way, but he is an embarrassment.
Look, it's like you say money rules the world, though. How has he got into that position? Money. It's just everything. But, yeah, in terms of Trump in America at the minute, it's just, the scenes there are just scary, aren't they? And that's the thing, like, seeing people about in the UK, people have got complacent with it. You can just feel it. People are just relaxed about it now. They've got complacent with it. And I can't see it not having a second peak. I can't see it not going up again. And I think if we do see that second peak, that's why I think that the Premier League will be pushed back even further.
Yeah, I've got this horrible dilemma as well. I look out my window and I see, in the last couple of weeks only, really, I've seen groups of maybe 10, 12 kids at the front playing. And one part of you goes, oh, that's great, kids are out enjoying themselves and it's sunny. And another part of you goes, yeah, but, like, if one person gets sick in this estate and then that person goes to work and then yada yada, and, you know, it snowballs. And before you know where you are, we've got clusters popping up left, right and centre. And then all the shit we've been through, the 10, 11 weeks of lockdown that we've all gone through, and people suffered mental health issues, and loads of stuff would have been not for nothing, but almost for nothing.
Yeah, it's just going to undo everyone's good work, isn't it? We're talking about the stress on the NHS and whatnot. We're finally now getting to a point where it looks like the numbers are slowly starting to fall. And people are relaxing already, and you're like, no, you don't relax yet. We need to keep at it. We need to keep driving these numbers down. But rather than doing that, people are just thinking, oh, we can go out and know it's safe. And they're just meeting up with friends. I've seen it firsthand. I've been cycling out. I saw an ice cream van the other day with tons of people queuing up for an ice cream. And I'm thinking, that shouldn't be there. Like, that's just encouraging a crowd. It's but it seems that's a dumb thing because the sun's out. Coronavirus doesn't come out in the sun, apparently.
Did your parents tell you that when the ice cream man plays music, it means there's no ice cream left?
No.
Yeah, my man and dad tried to pull that shit with me when I was younger. I was like, oh, look at all these fools out there queuing up. The ice cream man, he's just stopping for a chat, sure. That's why he's pulling up.
Oh.
Yeah, poor me. I think I've made up for it since, though, to be fair. I've got more than a sweet tooth. Right, let me get into the chat and see if there's any more things before we finish up. Let's be fair, end the season now. Liverpool champions, relegate Everton. Also think Liverpool regain the Champions League as holders. If the season, Sophie, was to be finished, and I'm not going to use the words null and void because that ain't going to happen, because clubs are going to have to get into Europe next season. But if the season was to finish right now, if no more football could be played, what do you think the best case scenario is, or what would you like to see happen? Now, I know this is a massive hypothetical and I'm putting you on the spot, but what would you like to see happen? And push Liverpool aside. Let's just concentrate on the European places, relegation and stuff.
Well, there's a rumours, weren't there, that we're going to choose like top teams from the UK from England to go into the Champions League. I think like Spurs were on there, Arsenal, United, obviously City. We need to see what's going to happen with their ban as well, if that's going to go ahead, which I think is another interesting matter. But I think ideally, obviously Liverpool, yeah, you deserve to be champions. As much as it kills me to say that, I've already said like.
Sorry, you're breaking up there, Sophie. like earlier on when I was going on about the Champions League, I couldn't quite hear what you were saying.
But the thing for me when it gets really messy is the relegation. We know how much that'll cost teams to get relegated, like Aston Villa. It can majorly affect them. But of course, West Bromwich Albion, Leeds as well, who are due to be coming up. The playoff, we know, is the most expensive game in football. What happens? That's where it gets messier for me. At the bottom end of the table, where teams are coming up and teams are going down, that has a major part on their clubs.
It
so
does.
For me, there needs to be some way of playing it out. Is there going to be like, I heard of rumours of like a tournament style football for teams that are competing for Europe or teams that are competing to stay up. Like the teams who basically got something to fight for. They're on about doing like a tournament like scenario where it's like a knockout round. I can't see that working. I heard about a summer camp idea as well, where teams are going to be based at certain camps, and it was going to be done that way. Again, I can't see how that's going to work out, because if one team gets the virus, then surely you just should back to square one. But yeah, ideally Liverpool get the league, United get Champions League. Yeah, we move on.
All right, we're trying to be realistic here, Sophie. Calm down now. Calm down a minute.
But it's hard. I do not want to be the person making that decision. I'm glad I'm not that person, because you're never going to please everybody. You're going to piss teams off. It's going to happen. And you're going to have lawsuits and all sorts on your back. And that's why nobody, for me, wants to put their name on a decision. That's why we haven't had a decision made.
Yeah, it's difficult. And what we have seen, I think maybe what you were alluding to, was League Two have said that they're going to finish the season as it is now, but I think they're going to continue off with the playoffs. I don't think, as things stand, they were trying to get rid of relegation, but they were waiting to get that ratified by the FA. But they are looking to have this scenario where teams 3, 4, 5 and 6 go in to the playoffs to go up. Actually, is it that way in League 2? I don't pay much attention to League 2, to be honest. It's 3 up, 3 down, I believe. But Fulham spent a lot of money trying to keep Mitrovic there. Preston are having a really good campaign in the Championship as well. And those clubs, I know Fulham definitely spent a lot of money keeping Mitrovic there with the hope of getting back up. So, people can say, just null and void the season, just finish the season, no relegation, no promotion. That'll put clubs under. That could put some of these clubs out of business. And
West Bromwich Albion have invested, Leeds have invested on players to get promoted. Obviously, that's what they're aiming for. They want to get promoted. They've invested a lot of money in that, and obviously they'd make profits from doing that. And if you all of a sudden then take that away from them, they've spent all that money and they've not gained anything from it. You just go again next year. Do you know? And it's just, it's an interesting one. And we look at, I mentioned Man City and their ban as well. We mentioned big players and keeping hold of your big players after this pandemic. If that ban stands, I can see big players leaving Man City. Players like Aguero, who will want to win the Champions League before the end of their career, they're not getting any younger. And I think that they're not going to be around, to be honest with you. If the ban stays at 2 years, I think big players are going to leave Man City, and it's an interesting one.
All I can say is De Bruyne, come on, son. You know where you want to be. You know, if Man City aren't in European competition, we'll take you, Kevin. We'll do it. We'll do it as just a goodwill gesture. That's how good we are at Liverpool, Kevin. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this stream to a close, but before we finish up, Sophie, what have you got coming up? Where can people find you? It's better me not butchering it. Better you letting people know.
Appreciate that, thank you. You can find me on Twitter at SophRicho. Instagram is SophRicho with a kiss on the end, and my channel is Hairdryer Treatment as well. I'll be back on Sunday morning with the Soph and Meg show, and we'll be talking about some of the biggest topics right now and having a bit of a rant and putting the world to rights, because that's what we like to do.
Brilliant. I couldn't have done that, so there you go. And look, I promise everybody I won't start a TikTok account. I'm going to have another pop at this Instagram nonsense in a few minutes when I finish this, because I wanted to show people what Anfield Agenda looks like, or what this stream without the green screen and all behind me looks like. So if you haven't followed our Instagram account, go over there, check it out. It's just at Anfield Agenda. This idiot is going to have another go at adding that to our Instagram story. But Sophie, it's been so much fun having you on. I hope to get you on again soon when we've got some football back and some normality, and we can have a conversation around the topic that we all really are here for, and that's football. But until then, I hope that you stay healthy and safe. I hope you enjoy your midterm, because you're off for a while, and I wish your club nothing but bad times, I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate that, I think. I'll take it in a positive way. But yeah, thank you for having me on the channel.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Content is amazing. Definitely always tuning in, and I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy your break as well. I hope you make the most of your time off.
I'm going to be terrible. I'm going to be unbearable at home. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm somebody that will say to Connor, I'm not streaming tomorrow, and then 7 o'clock will be like, have you got the thumbnail done? And he's like, you're not streaming. Yeah, but I changed my mind, mate. So yeah, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to delete Twitter off my phone. I'm going to just try everything to stay off social media just for the week, just to reintroduce myself to the wife and kids, just, regain some type of relationship with my children. It'd be nice to say hello to them every now and again. I mean, they've been here with us so long, they're almost like family, so why not? Look, ladies and gents, I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I wish you guys health, happiness, success, and lots of love, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow at about 2:15, hopefully on Hot Mic and on YouTube as well. We are really close to hitting 1,850 Hot Mic followers, so please do download the app. It's available in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Put in the code ANFIELD, all capital letters, when you sign up. I'll be covering the Wolfsburg game against Dortmund tomorrow, 2:30. Hope to see you over there. I did say that I had somebody else who had gone to Hot Mic that I couldn't talk about. Well, I'm going to finish the stream by letting you know who it is. It's Goldbridge. It's okay saying that because his name's on the list now, so you can actually look down and find him on there. I think Mark's going to be doing his first stream on there tomorrow as well. So trying to get everybody over. Sophie, you on Hot Mic?
Yeah, I'm on Hot Mic. I've set up an account. Definitely trying to get everyone over there. Love that Mark's there as well.
Boom, there you go. Claude's there, I'm there, Mark's there, Sophie's there, the Anfield Rapper there, Red Men are there. Everybody's coming over. Claude and the Bansas are there. And then Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a co-commentary with I'm a Gunner Terry, who's in the chat there. Going to be a co-commentary with Terry for the Dortmund Bayern Munich game, which I'm going to have a lot of fun for as well. So loads coming up, even though I'm technically having a week off. I still have a few bits to do. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Sophie. We'll chat to you guys soon. You're not going to like this bit, Sophie, but you can kind of adopt it if you want. Up the motherfucking Reds.